I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's Emmy Award-winning soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I'm joined by my quarantine gaggle of gals. We have somewhere around here, on my screen, she's down. Wait, no, he's over here.
I'm up here on my screen.
Oh, on mine, you're over here. Give it up for Lumberjack Michael Mattes. And of course, we have bum 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 bum.
Hey everyone, Chelsie Overocker.
And the purple people eater, we have. Y'all remember that?
Everyone, Tami. Yeah.
One-eyed, one horn.
And purple people eater.
Y'all remember that
Tami
movie?
Goveia.
That was a classic throwback right there. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in live. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. The @in quarantine is still indefinitely implied. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you give us 5 stars and also leave a comment so that we know that you like it and love it and want more of it. And of course, tune into our other after shows for our soap operas right here on AfterBuzz TV's drama. We have GH Report for General Hospital and Restless Rap for Young and the Restless. And The Bold and the Beautiful is on hiatus. So they will be back after quarantine, right, Tami Goveia?
James not Junior's in the chat room. He can probably.
He'll pop up in a second.
That's up to the maestro.
Yes. And also, stay tuned for our special quarantine check-in. We have 2 lovely guests popping in. You probably already know one if you follow us on social media. If not, you got to stay tuned and find out who's going to pop in. But what did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days?
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I really
It was a good week.
I wanted more. I wanted more Jake and Gabby. It was like, really? Come on. But it was good.
It was such a great week. I think every day was good. I don't think there's any slow moments, but great week. I love Kristen and Brady.
Yeah, they're becoming quite the dynamic duo, like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Mattes, what did you think of this week?
I liked it. It was good. Solid shows.
Yeah, I thought it was a great week too. So we should break it down. It's now time to start Dishin Days. Oh. Don't have that hourglass. Here you go, cup. It's my J-Lo cup. Sorry. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's start with our first storyline here, which is the Kristen, Brady, Victor, Eric, Nicole, Lonnie, Eli, Sierra, Xander, and all those people. And of course, Sarah, Rex, and Kate. So with this, we see that Sarah is still in Paris, but she ran into an old lover. Mr. Rex popped up out of nowhere for a medical convention.
And she seems rightfully annoyed that she ran into him of all people.
And I love
she was just like, this bitch. Come on.
I love the Casablanca reference that Ron used of all the cafes.
Yeah.
Those reference to Casablanca. So thank you, Ron.
Well, I feel like she was probably annoyed because she's trying to like lay low. And then of course she runs into someone. So like, then she's freaking out because she's like, oh my gosh, someone knows me. But then like, I can't stay here, but maybe I should go there, but then it's going to cost money. And like, so she's like all in her head about what she's done. But Rex, when he first sees her, has no idea what happened until he makes a phone call to Kate. And Kate did this before she finally got to, oh yeah, and Sarah stole a baby that's not hers.
And I mean, I feel like it was intentional. Like, I feel like Rex knew something was going on. And so he clearly called Kate to, figure out
she probably
what
know.
it was. Oh yeah.
Kate
knows everything.
Yeah. But his
Yeah.
facial expression when Kate is just explaining everything that's going on in Salem, he's like sometimes that's us throughout the week, like we explain to other people. So this is what's happening on Days of Our Lives. Rex nailed that facial expression.
Well, it's kind of that mix of like, I'm not surprised, but like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Because
happening.
she went through
and going
everything,
on.
and then the first thing we got was like she was talking about Hattie, and I'm like, why is she talking to him about Hattie? Does he even know
Right.
Hattie?
I'm like fixing my shirt. I was kind of like, she's really going all ring around the rosy before she gets to the whole Sarah thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Does she know Hattie? They work together.
No, excuse me, Rex.
Oh, just Kyle.
Did Rex know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Did Rex know? Because I didn't think that Rex, I don't know, maybe he did. I just expected her to get to what was more relevant to Rex a little bit quicker rather than, like Tony said, going all over Salem and then being like, oh, by the way, Sarah didn't go through with the wedding.
Yeah.
BT dubs.
But I also kind of feel like she stayed relevant to what she was going through because she brought it back to Hattie left, and of course she used to work at the pub, and now Roman was asked. She was like, "I'm just waiting for Roman to ask me to like fill in," and he's like, "Are you?" She's like, "No, I'm not. My days of slinging hash are far over." So I feel like that's
Except
why
she never
got all
slanged
that.
the hash. She just served it, right? She wasn't a cook.
Well, I mean, I don't
Well,
know. There could be a day where like, the local cook couldn't make it and she had to go back there and sling some hash. We don't know. That's an off-camera thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about this whole like baby kidnapping thing. It's I don't know. It seems so unlike Sarah. I think that's why I feel like I'm just kind of like.
See, and I feel like it's completely in character for her because she does. I feel like she's reactionary like that, but we just haven't seen this kind of desperation yet.
I guess so. I mean, it's like I can understand how she got to this point, but then there's still like, oh, now we're with the baby kidnap, and then the whole thing cut to back in Salem with Kristen and Brady and having to deal with the stabbing of Victor. When Brady went back to the mansion after Kristen admitted that she was the one that stabbed Victor, and he was there with the knife, there was a part of me that wanted to say that was thinking like, why didn't he just say, oh, I came back, I found the knife, like, and I was protecting it by not touching it. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying like, I don't know, suddenly saying that like he did it. I was just like, and no one believes him. No one believes that he would stab Victor.
I know that was kind of a right away. Everyone's like, no, this doesn't add up.
It's Kristen. Well,
Then
it's just.
Kristen. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say it's just a completely different switch, and this is why I like how Brady and Kristen are evolving together as a couple, because I feel like last year Brady would be like, Kristen, this is what you deserve. You haven't changed at all. And now he's covering for her because he says you need to be there for Rachel. She needs her mother. And I do think there's, he feels betrayed by Victor, so he's less likely, so he's taking the fall. He's kind of justified Kristen's action, understands it, and is taking the fall for her because he sees the despair or the desperation in her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a really cool
buying it.
When Brady took the fall for her in front of everybody, I thought that was a really, like, going back to what Chelsea was saying, I thought that was a really defining moment, because totally last year he would have been, this is on you. You've got to take responsibility. Clearly you're not fit to raise Rachel. You know what I mean? So I really appreciated that. So yay.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then Kristen,
I just needed to be a little more well thought out. Like, if you're going to take the fall, then like have your story, make it believable, and not in a heat of the moment decision.
Kelly Frog in the chat room says Brady's not that smart.
Brady tries to
Shade.
think on his feet. Is what happens. I think Brady's a
You know,
on his feet
it
thinker,
didn't
and it
surprise
just
me.
sometimes
That was
doesn't land.
like it was the first thing I thought of. He's going to take the fall for her. I was hoping for that.
Yep, right there with you, Tammy. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't think that. I thought that my first thought was like, how is she gonna get out of this? Like, she should have just walked away instead of shanking him.
Well,
I wasn't
was
sure
like,
if Brady.
when-
I wasn't sure if Brady was going to take the fall, but I did feel like he would at least help her. I was pretty sure he was at least going to help her like cover it up, but I wasn't sure if he was going to take the blame for it, take the fall for it.
Well,
But
it
once he was
like
in there
when
and they
Ben-
found him with the weapon, like I was like, well, he kind of has to.
It was like when Ben took the fall for Sierra when she conked Wraith over the head.
Yeah. And well, you expect Sin to do that. So that's great that now Brady's doing that for Kristen. But
Yeah.
I don't think Brady went in there thinking, okay, I'm going to cover up for Kristen. I think he was, like you said, Michael, he was just in there just trying to figure out how he can get her out of the situation. But when he was caught with the murder weapon, he's like, I'm just going to go down for it right now.
And I like how when we come back to Kristen, she's in her motel room, 5 maps, making all kinds of charts, like she's on CSI Salem, trying to figure out where the baby is.
I called her Carmen
I thought it was
Sandiego.
funny.
I was like, she is in here with like. I was like, my first thought was, where does anyone find a map, like, and enough maps to like? And she literally, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was one on the wall with yarn or like read something like connecting one city to another. Did anyone else notice that except me?
Yeah, there was
You
like a
noticed it,
string
Michael
in the
Pettis?
background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, what the CSI SVU is
Like,
she
what
doing
is she
in her
doing?
hotel room? Like, but it also just saw like how desperate she was and her desperation, and also just how like she's kind of losing it a little bit, just a tad. But I get it, because it's like, again, she's one of the few characters, I think, when it comes to babies, we feel for it, because for the longest time she wasn't able to conceive on her own, and then now that she has, and now that she has this baby, it's kind of like, I get her desperation. It's like how we understand the desperation of like Nicole when like she was unable to have a baby, and then like she was able to have, Holly and stuff like that. Like we feel the feels for these particular characters who, aren't allowed to have babies.
Kristen had
Okay, to the
so
writers.
many amazing moments this week, but I have to say
Mm-hmm.
one of the most powerful moments was when she was I think she was in the hotel room after Nicole left, or anyway, where she says, no matter what I do, I always end up alone.
Yes, that was
She was with
great.
Kristen.
Remember that?
Nicole was still there.
Love it.
Nicole was still there.
Was Nicole still there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's true. Like, she always ends up doing something to sabotage anything that's good in her life. And when
Mhm.
Nicole said, can you just not be you? Because that's what you're going to need if you're going to be a mother.
And that's what she said. She's like, I need to figure out how to not be me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that made me really feel bad for Kristen. Like,
Mhm.
I'm really big on people just be who you are, be authentic. And for someone to like be told, even though what she does is kind of, crappy every now and then, but to say that like who you are like isn't good enough. Like that really, I was like, oh, Kristen, you are good enough.
I think her time.
Which is crazy.
I think her time in the convent. I think her time in the convent showed that she has another side. She has the capacity. She just needs constant encouragement to remember that.
She needs Lonnie. Lonnie needs
Lonnie
to be
dead.
I know,
Yes.
but we that friendship got revisited a little bit this week.
Yes.
Just
I'm
a little
so
bit, but
happy. Yeah.
Like I feel like I would have much rather had seen Lonnie come to the hotel to check on Kristen rather than Nicole, because
Totally.
Nicole, it felt like Nicole and Eric were playing detectives, and like they were like,
Oh, they were.
we know Brady didn't do this, so we're each gonna go try to get down to the bottom of it. And so it was kind of there was a part of me that was like, I think there is a genuine concern that Nicole has for Kristen, even though like even Kristen pointed out, like, you guys hate my guts, like why do you care? But I think it's this empathizing as a mother that also kind of brings out some sort of care that Nicole may have, although it's maybe small. It may be like they're big. It's like they're big. Her wanting to know the truth, it did big, but then her caring about Kristen, it about did big.
Okay.
That's the spectrum. I'm just saying. So oh boy, someone, I don't even know if I want to. I don't even know if I want to mention this in the chat room. So someone mentioned that the whole reason why Kristen has Brady's baby is because Kristen raped Brady. Yeah,
because
see?
it happened when she had the
Nicole
Nicole mask on.
Yeah.
So I don't want to touch it.
Yep. I don't either.
Like,
because I also feel like during that time it was like he sensed that it was very Kristen, like the connection of him and Kristen was very strong, that even through the Nicole stuff, he sensed Kristen. He felt Kristen, even though it was Nicole, he felt like it was Kristen. And I think that anyway, I'm just gonna be like Homer Simpson and
back into the bushes.
Into that.
If Brady's okay with it,
I mean, listen, he's okay with it so far. So, all right. So I think that's pretty much. They all forgot that Victor may make it through and like is gonna name the killer. Although I love how they name them once the person who's asking leaves the room. Because Victor, Eli, of course, was asking, questioning Victor as soon as he woke up, and so once they leave, him and Kayla leave, he goes, Kristen, and then like looks to see if anyone heard him, and I was like, girl, no one heard you because they all left.
Not until the very end, very last thing Friday, he called Eli back and was like, Kristen. He's like, Kristen, okay, are you telling me that Kristen did it? Then the show ended. So now it's going to be like, we think he ratted Kristen out, but did he really? Or is Eli going to be like, well, he just said Kristen's name. That doesn't mean anything.
Right. Because, I mean, he still literally just woke up and he's a gentleman of a certain age. And I don't know how quickly that recovery of the shank is going to happen. Which also, side note, they keep saying that he got stabbed in the chest. And I'm like, I don't know how he was, but they keep saying chest. They're like, he got stabbed in the chest, in the heart, where his, and I'm like, unless he was sitting low.
It looked to me like she got him in the gut, not the chest.
Yeah.
But it's one. I guess it's another thing. We just have to be like, okay, it was the chest. Okay. And then I was confused because I was under the impression that he was still, what did they say? He was still critical. But then when Eric and Brady were talking, Eric was like, oh, he may not make it. And I was like, well, I didn't know he was that critical. You know what I mean? He made a comment like that he was near death, and I didn't think that was the case. So that confused me a little bit. But regardless, he woke up and...
I got scared when Sierra came out and she was looking at Sonny like Victor had made a turn for the worse, and he's like, no, he's fine. I just don't like, and I'm just like, oh, girl, don't come out scared. You can't be scaring people like that.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, and then she had a little, bout with what's his name, Xander.
Oh, she told him off.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
go
good
Sierra.
Luck.
Yeah, if it's Sarah, good luck to her. Right when he walks out the door.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for that storyline, right? Did we miss anything? No. Okay.
I think we got it all.
I think so.
All right. So then now we have Abby, Chad, Gabby, Rafe, Jack, Jennifer, and Lonnie. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get into the hallucination of the situation
So did
and
not see
who
that
drugged Abby.
coming. My
No,
God.
because it happened. It happened so fast.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I
It
was like,
happened.
no, we are not doing this.
Not a
No.
relapse. No.
Come on.
But here's the thing,
I didn't
everyone.
feel that strongly about it, but
I did. It's like, I don't want to do this
I was
again.
curious. I'm like, I was just thinking like, okay, where are they going? I was curious where they were going with it, but I wasn't so strongly against them potentially going down that route with her again.
Well,
No, I
here
don't
was
want to. I don't want to see it again.
here was the issue that I was going to have was that if she was in fact actually relapsing, I was like, ooh, that was really quick. It was almost as if
Yeah.
like she got triggered, and by Gabby saying that your wife's crazy and she knows she's crazy and who knows which personality is going to come out, that all of a sudden it triggered her to like being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But then when they said that she was drugged and they all tried to pin it on Gabby, I was like, I mean, I don't know if it's just because we're the audience and we could see that she didn't do it. I was like, she didn't do that.
Well,
Well,
I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know. I was torn because I'm like, Gabby could have found a way to do it. She was in the mansion. She was at the restaurant. I don't think if she had done it, I don't think it would have been at the restaurant because we saw pretty much that entire situation, and she really didn't have a moment to do it, even though they were saying she did.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see why they were automatically looking at Gabby.
I mean,
given the history.
I can see too. I can see why they automatically looked at Gabby, but also I feel like, which is why I love the conversation that Will had with Gabby,
Mm-hmm.
and was kind of like, okay, we all know what happens when you want revenge, you know, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'm glad that someone had that conversation with her to remind her that, listen, you were in a revenge mode 2 seconds ago and you saw you almost lost everything. So let's get out of revenge mode so that you don't lose your life again, because you may not get out of it again. And I like that she was just like, you know, I'm suing them for wrongful termination. I'm like, great, we're going through the legal system for this instead of you taking matters into your own hand. So I feel like that's the route that she's going, but everyone wants to say like, you did it. And I'm like, I don't think she did it, to be honest.
I
No.
don't think so either, but I love the conversation with her and Kate at the pub when Gabby's like, everybody is pointing their finger at me. Everybody thinks that I did it. And Kate says, well, did you do it? And the expression on Gabby's face of just being horrified that Kate would think that.
Even Rafe, during that exchange with her and Rafe, which I thought was really,
I
really,
love seeing
which I thought was really
that
great.
side of Rafe. I love seeing that side of Rafe. I mean, he
Yeah.
exploded.
He's her
We
parental
rarely get to see that.
figure. And yeah, even he was like, all right, we're alone. Did you do it? Like,
Who
you
could
kind of
it
have to
be?
be like, and you have to understand from their perspective, it's like, she's done so much. When now she's accused of something, they just have to be like, well, did you?
Yeah, come straight up to do it. But she would have told Rafe in that moment. She would have come clean, saying, I already did this with the lock. This is what I did with Abby.
I feel like if she was going to be honest with anyone, it would have been big brother Rafe.
Yes.
See,
So who do you think it is? It's not Gabby. So who do you think it is?
Oh, I have a theory, but it's really out there.
I have a theory. I think we discussed it last week a little bit that that Chad isn't quite Chad again.
Oh, that he's still Robo Chad.
No.
That he's still Robo Chad.
Could be.
But because I noticed he was acting a little odd this week. He was acting very even when Gabby was hallucinating, he was acting almost like aggressively angry.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Like very, and I don't feel like real
too.
Chad would have reacted that way.
I thought so too. He didn't seem that supportive over her, like almost it's a drag. You gotta go to the hospital. Okay. Now, like there's
That's
times
mean.
where he did comfort her, But then there's other times where he just acted really off as well.
He was
see,
mean.
it could have been a like, listen, I can't. I just snapped out of it. Like, I can't have you snapping into it. Like,
And
girl.
I love Chad and Abby, so it kind of broke me a little bit. I wanted Chad to be a little bit more softer.
Yeah, I think, but I also think he was thrown for a loop because it's like, I don't know, like, how do you deal with it when like your wife is standing there and hallucinating and you don't know what's happening, you don't see what's happening in her mind, and all of these hallucinations were kind of like freaking everyone out. Like even when she was at the hospital and thought Sonny was Ben and that he was trying to hurt Sierra, or when she was in the hospital bed and saw Orpheus, about to blow up Jennifer, and like, and it's just like. But my other thought was, because she has had this bout before, wouldn't she have learned how to deal with it? Like, is it like some sort of exercise or something?
Well, she said to Marlena, I've been doing everything right. I've been doing everything right. So this doesn't make sense. And even in that scene, Marlena was acting weird. Like some of the characters are just acting weird.
Well, listen, there's a lot going on in Salem. You have Orpheus, floating around and like, causing terror. Then you have Abigail hallucinating, and then you have Jake who looks like Stefan. Like, there's a lot that's happening. So I feel like everybody will kind of be on edge and a little cray-cray.
Yeah, but even Marlena said this isn't remission, so that's why these hallucinations were a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
We find out she's drugged. So.
Well, I'm glad that they found that out, but now it's a thing of who done did it and why, because I don't think it was Gabby.
No,
I honestly don't think it
I understand
was
why people think. Like I said, I understand why people think it is, but no, I don't think it's. It's going to be one of these cases. It's a case where she's, being accused of something she actually didn't do.
Yeah.
But she's guilty because of previous indiscretion.
It could go it could go both ways. It could be someone who's trying to get back at Gabby and wants her to take the fall for it, or someone who's trying to protect Gabby, trying to be on her side.
Chad would definitely be right up there in regards to wanting to get revenge on her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well,
yep. And there was a touching scene between Jack and Abigail, because Jack kind of missed out on all of Abigail's troubles, and so she kind of had to recount to him what exactly went down, and he kind of regrets not being there for her, and it was a touching moment.
Yeah,
and that was that.
Well, she's daddy's little girl, so.
Yeah, it's nice that he's around.
She used to beat herself up about his death, because in that elevator it was her or him, and so she got out and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all see how that turned out.
Yeah.
But okay. So who done drugged Abby and why? We don't know, but we'll figure it out. Then we have Ben, Sierra, Jake, Gabby, Kate, and Will. Okay, so I'm gonna need a little more backstory about Jake, and as far as where he come from, how he ended up in Salem, how come no one knew that he looked like Stefan beforehand. Like, I have questions, and I would like answers, because what's also very interesting is the connection that him and Ben have. Like the fact that he's willing to like vouch for Ben and say like, hey, you seem like you're a good mechanic. That's all I need to know. And Ben is like, what about my past? He's like, I don't care about your past. We all got a past. But as long as you can fix a car, I'm good. And then it's like, the banter between them, like it's all familiar territory, but with someone that looks like Stefan, that's not Stefan, who's named Jake. But also, it's like, why is no one super surprised about Jake? Like, if I walked in and saw him, my mouth would have hit the floor, and then I would have said questions like, Who are you? Where you from? Who your family? What's your ancestry DNA? Can we go to Salem University and get a DNA test? Because some ain't right.
Well, Ben did that. He was asking him a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
But
and that's when he kind of got defensive a little bit. Says, let me go ahead and tell you the story of my ex-girlfriend, which sounds just like him and Gabby. So I don't know. Yeah,
I think we touched on this a long time ago. Like, if this is really Stefan, then somebody else's heart is in Julie's.
Well, yeah, and even Kate
it's not
reminded
possible.
her of that. Like, it can't be Stefan. You gave away his heart.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about organ transplant scenario. So either somebody else's organs got transplanted.
Yeah, there would have had to been a body switch before the heart went into Julie, and yeah, then the question is, well, whose heart is it then? If it's not Stefan's, whose is it?
But why would he do this?
Well, that's another question.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at that point where we don't have all of our information yet. We're just getting.
Tony, can you call Ron, please?
Sprinkled.
Oh, sure. Let me get him on the line. Beep, 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 beep.
Hello.
And let's just throw it out there. Crazy reason, say it's Stefan. My theory is he could have been the one that drugged Abby, and he's kind of playing behind the scenes.
People in the chat room were saying that too, that it was him.
Okay, that's what I thought this whole week. Yep.
But
I love Jake.
Oh, me too.
I love the whole persona of Jake.
Jake is definitely different. Like physically and visually, he looks like Stefan, but he's definitely playing this character different. Like, he talks like this, like a raspy, rah, and he seems just a little more
goofy,
gruff, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Not as
Brandon's
polished, not
amazing.
as polished, and yeah.
He's doing an amazing job.
It's definitely a different take, and I think that it's good that Brandon gets to kind of come back and like play someone that looked like the previous character that he used to play, but he can play someone completely different. And I think he's doing a great job. Like, this guy is like, he's like this blue collar, nonchalant, like, hey, I'm just here to get my hands dirty and cash my check and go have a beer and just have a good time. Like, he seems like that. Rather
John
than
Del
this
Rey,
very powerful. Mm-hmm.
John Del Rey in the chat said that Dr. Shaw died the same day that Stefan did.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
And
I'm so.
I'd have to go back
That's
and
what people
look,
are
but
saying. Dr. Shaw, yeah.
Listen,
interesting.
It's interesting, but like, can we say that's a bit of a?
I mean, it's days. Everything's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Like, bringing people back from death is a stretch, but yet we believe it. So
listen,
who knows?
I will say I'm glad that Brandon's back, but I hope it's not like a robo Stefan. Like, I'm crossing fingers that it is Jake, who just so happens, not Jake from State Farm, because I keep wanting to say that, but that he is just like Jake, who just so happens to look like Stefan. Because it is true, like, people have doppelgangers, so it's not too far-fetched. They do.
I get told all the time, like, there's multiple neighbors of mine have told me that they're like, oh, we saw you the other day down on Hacienda or down, and I'm like, no, that wasn't me. And they're like, no, I'm like, no, that wasn't me. Multiple times. So I have a doppelganger in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind if this was. I wouldn't mind if this was Stefan pretending to be Jake. I just don't want it to be because of robo reasons.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Like, I don't want him to be chipped. No more chips.
Yeah, I can't deal with that. Yeah.
No.
Can you tell? Like, I can't deal with a lot of things today. Like, I can't deal with that.
But I feel like the interesting thing was when Gabby saw him and fainted, he came over, the crowd came around, and then he just like
He just bolted.
He peaced out.
What's up with that?
But I feel like there's a connection with the discussion that he was having with Ben about his ex.
But that took place afterwards when we found out about it. But I think, I don't know, that doesn't seem like Jake just to walk away when she's starting to wake up. It's out of his character. We don't know Jake.
We don't know Jake enough to know whether that's in his character or not. We don't know Jake.
And if he's willing to give Ben a chance, I just feel like if someone faints on the ground and they're about to wake up, if this is Jake, he would stick around.
No, I think there was something about when he looked at her that triggered him, which is why they had that conversation, not about the ex, because I feel like it's going to tie into why he just left Gabby the way that he did. I think he got triggered by how she looked.
Could be. Maybe there's a Gabby doppelganger going around.
Again,
maybe Camila's gonna have to pull double duty pretty soon.
Another Gabigail, someone flaunting around with like a black wig and pretending to be a sassy Latina.
A blonde. I guess if Gabby
asking for a double tequila,
so it would be a blonde Gabby, right? Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. And then it ended with her seeing him again, and I think this time there's going to be some sort of interaction. So I'm actually I'm intrigued by this storyline. I must say, I'm intrigued by the backstory of Jake, and how Gabby is now going to truly react to him. Hopefully, she can keep it together and not faint. And the bonding that Ben and Jake are about to have, because it's interesting.
Someone said maybe Vivian had twins. There's always the twin storyline.
That's another soap opera staple. It's like they bring someone back and then they're like, oh, I'm actually a twin. It's like, oh, okay. They just write it in that it was twins. Yeah, we'll see.
James
would frustrate me.
Said it best. You get a twin. You get a twin. You get a twin. That's what JLJ.
So I think there's been talk in the chat room about Jake and Ben, possibly, like something going on. And James Lott Jr. just putting it out there. If they can't get the gays right, they ain't doing a bisexual. LOL.
well, right now,
except Christian,
right now,
Evan Christian,
Evan Christian is the only bisexual, but they haven't deeply explored that. They've kind of
no. The Evan storyline isn't about him being bisexual. Like the bisexual part of it is just kind of like a footnote.
He might not even be bisexual. It could be pansexual, where he just falls in love with the person.
Oh, cute. Yeah, maybe. There's too many options nowadays. I'm old. I don't like
it. Michael doesn't like options.
Right, and I think that was it with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything about that? Okay. All right. Before we travel along to our tidbits, and before we bring in our first quarantine check-in guest, we've got a bit of business brought to you by the lumberjack ox person himself, Michael Mattes. Take it away, Michael.
Okay. Well, we just wanted to say thank you for making us here at AfterBuzz the ESPN of TV talk. And for us to grow, we need your help. As we have always told you in the chat room, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channels. If you're listening on iTunes, listening to our podcast, give us a 5-star rating and make a comment and tell us how you think we're doing. Being a part of AfterBuzz has been meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us and doing what we love to do. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, and see you on the YouTube.
This announcement brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. All right, moving on to some tidbits. We have our first tidbit, which is, speaking of, Orpheus, Evan, Christian, Chris, Zoe, John, and Marlena. Can I just say how much I enjoy Zoe? I like her. I like her character. I like that, I like that she is willing to do for her family, but she's also kind of like, I'm not like you, Dad, and you're lucky
Right.
I'm your daughter because I
She has
wouldn't be
her
involved in
her
it.
convictions. Like yeah, you said it better.
Yeah.
I like the
But
dynamic between them just because he clearly, I don't know if he scares her, but she definitely knows how to walk lightly or tread lightly
Tread lightly,
at
yeah.
times. Yeah, but at the same time, like she stands up to him big time. Like, stop making stupid decisions. I was like, oh my God. I can't
Yeah.
believe you just said that to him.
Mhm.
she's literally like, listen, you might be Orpheus to them, but like, I ain't scared of you. I'm not scared of
Yeah.
you, sir. So, but I really want to know. So we know that there's a secret between Orpheus and Evan, Christian, Chris. We don't know what it is, but Zoe
Yeah.
was able to pull it out and know what it is. And now I'm wondering what it is. What is the secret?
So-
that
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
So last week I thought it might have something to do with Jordan, but
Mhm.
in conversation with Orpheus and Evan Christian, they said, or maybe it was between Zoe and Evan, because she's like, did it have something to do with Jordan? He's like, no, it had nothing to do. It happened after that. It happened, whatever they did recently. That's what I got from their conversations this week. What they're talking about, what they did happened recently, like in the past year, not around the time Jordan he killed Jordan. So but then during the conversation with Orpheus and John and Marlena, Orpheus was saying like, oh, he could help John get Brady out of jail. But but John didn't take the bait. It's like, oh, how could you help me get my son out of jail? So I think whatever Evan and Orpheus did is whatever can get Brady out of jail. What that is, I don't know, but I think those two are connected.
Good
Oh
point.
yeah, I forgot about that whole interaction that they had in the square. I almost, for some reason, when they run into him, I almost want them to have the reaction of, "Oh my God, can you just go away?"
Like Sarah did for Rex, and just like, ugh.
Yeah, just kind of
She
like,
was more,
ugh.
yeah, just the more annoyed than scared.
Yeah. But I wonder if Orpheus, if they're going to take Orpheus's deal. Well, no, because they're about to uncover that Kristen did it, so then they're not going to need Orpheus.
Right. Yeah, I don't. It's this one's a puzzler. Like what they could have done. And
Shayla in the chat room says, I feel like Evan and Orpheus killed Adrian.
But from what they were talking
it's gonna
about
tie
in the
into
recency,
Brady.
but no, just because the recency that they were kind of alluding to, like, I don't think so. I think that happened too long ago. But I don't know.
I don't know. Well, and then the adoption with David is put on hold. And they're getting more traction on Zoe getting custody of David. Which I'm kind of like, which I like that Justin pointed out how the families are, because Rafe is all like, he's Orpheus. And it's like, but your family isn't
Sucks
squeaky
too.
clean either. You know what I mean? And so what's funny is that out of the two families, Rafe and Zoe are the only like clean sweet people. But it's just weird that, like, I don't know, when it comes to custodies, I'm always like, is there no rational person that's just like, listen, David has influential in his life, and we don't want to do that to him, but we are his biological family. We can share. We can be adults, but then I guess there wouldn't be drama. Huh?
Yeah, well, there wouldn't be drama, and I feel like real life custody battles aren't, unfortunately, mostly about the child that they're fighting over. It's to try to stick it to the other parent. Yeah, and I feel like that they bring that into play on the show too. That it's less about they want the child, but it's more about, I don't want you to have the child.
Yeah.
There's you know what I mean? So maybe they're bringing that. That's the rationale.
There you go. All right. Well, we're gonna see how this story unfolds. And then we have Steve, Kayla, Justin, and Hope, which everybody is like, nope on Steve and Hope, no on Steve and Hope. But I don't think that it's them trying to put them together as a couple. I think where they are in life, their life stopped.
They're each other's support right now because they're the only two that can truly understand what each of them has gone through the past year.
Exactly.
But also what they're going through right now, because life continued to happen while they were Robo Gina and Robo Stefano. So it's kind of like they're trying to now find their place again in this life while everyone else has kind of moved on. So I can see how they would lean towards each other through friendship first, not as lovers.
Yeah, I'm hoping they stick with friendship. I'm down for a friendship. I'm not down for the default, which is like, okay, put these two together while these two are together. And I am absolutely, like, this week frustrated me, especially with that scene when Kayla fixed Steve's eye. I'm like, okay, these two, okay, that has to be it. Like, Steve and Kayla just need to be together. They've had their drama. They had drama going back to when Steve disappeared, and now this is their time to be together. And I feel like they're dragging it out, and I'm not.
Well, because I like the point that it doesn't just happen like that. Like it shouldn't just be like, oh, you're back.
It can be. It can be. It can be if they write it that way.
but it's not. But I feel like it's not real to just like. There's a lot of hurt and pain that Kayla went through when it came to Steve, and she has moved on. I don't think the love that she has for Steve is totally gone. But when you're someone who has been hurt and you like get to a place where you're not hurt by someone anymore, you don't just automatically go, oh my God, you're back. Oh my God, I'm in love with you. Oh my God, let's have babies. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't.
I don't know. Normally I would agree, but in this situation, I'm over it. Like, I know that eventually they'll be back, I guess. So, and they have all of these touching moments, and I feel like Kayla is just acting out of stubbornness and guilt because she doesn't want to hurt Justin. I feel like she knows in her heart she wants to go back with Steve, but she can't make herself do it because of her pain and because of guilt. She doesn't want to hurt because of guilt, and I'm just like, it's frustrating to me. I'm just like, you fixed his eye. There was clearly a moment. Just go with it.
But it's also
like, who cares who told who to do what? You know.
It's also the feeling of like, he's like, okay, fine, just go be with him, and it's like, but no, you don't get to tell me who to be with. You don't get it. I decide for me. Like, you don't just tell me to do whatever, and I just go okay. So I get where Kayla's coming from too.
Yep, that was a dopey move on his part.
Yeah.
I like though how she told him off, saying, "This has nothing to do about you. This is about me." When he was about to leave, so that was good on Kayla's part.
She's told him to go to hell like 5 times.
Yeah, she has.
And that was pretty much it with that storyline, right?
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Sherry in the chat room. It's her birthday. Happy birthday.
Another Taurus in the bunch.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we'll go into our segments.
Yes, sorry. And now we're going to go to our segments, and we'll start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap.
All right. So, listen, let me tell you, when you have 2 people who are playing detectives who are not detectives or no way affiliated with Salem PD and are able to figure out quicker than Salem PD that Kristen stabbed Victor. I mean, that in itself just deserves a 3 Snaps award. So my 3 Snaps award goes to Eric and Nicole, Greg Bond, and Ari Zucker for being some of the best detectives that Salem has seen thus far. You guys get Tony's official 3 Snaps award. All right, and now it's time for
Lisa on Twitter, her handle is at Micaiah Ken, nailed it when she posted, Sierra looking extra gorgeous today. The whole outfit and hairstyle is best dressed for this week. So I absolutely agree with you, Sarah. Victoria Conofol, Sierra. She's just beautiful. She gets this week's Designer Days.
And now it's time for
You are using an unregistered version of Soundboard. You are using
Caption that.
All right, this week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of Kyle Lowder and Lindsay Godfrey. Sarah and Rex in Paris, with Rex introducing himself to baby Mickey Rachel. And this week's Caption That, and I hope everyone gets this because I laughed out loud when I read it. This week's caption goes to EXO Tony Roni EXO on Twitter, who I believe has gotten captioned before, with his or her caption. Well, she looks fine. I don't know why she sounds like she has asthma every time you put her in there. Does everyone get that?
Because whenever there's a fake baby, they like put in the sound effects that the baby is there, and it's almost kind of like, is something wrong with the baby? Yeah.
It's like, and so I read that and I was like, good note. I like that.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were gonna go with Mike Riley's because his made me laugh out loud.
I don't know if I feel like I saw this one and picked it before I looked at anything else. What was his?
His was on Facebook, and hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It was to the tune of Mickey, and
it was the song. Oh yeah, it was like a version of I did see that. Yeah,
it was a version of the song, but it went perfect with like what was happening. Hold on. He said, "Oh Mickey, what a pity you don't understand that Sarah ain't your mama and you're in a foreign land." Hey Mickey. I thought that was fun.
Nice job.
That was good.
Honorable mention to Mike Riley.
Well, that has been
Caption That.
And now it's time for
Ooh, hey, why? It's like, aw. Okay. Aw moment this week goes to Will and Gabby. I feel like Will is Gabby's Brock. Whenever Gabby is not feeling great in Salem, I think Will is her person to lift her up. And I love how Will said, you don't need to rely on a ghost, not as long as I'm here. So Will and Gabby, you guys get my aw moment of the week.
That was very, very sweet.
Gabby just has so many people in Salem who just try to bring her down to reality.
Mhm.
It's so like she has Kate, Will, Sunny, Rafe. It's like they all have to, try to wrangle her.
Yeah.
And
of course, we have to give a shout out to Me World 2 for his old shiz moment of the week. I just retweeted it. You guys go check it out. He spends a lot of time editing these videos, and so I don't even want to say what it is. You just got to go check it out. It is now on our Instagram, which is _Dishin Days. All right, and now it's time for some news and gossip.
Afterbuzz news and gossip. Just a quick reminder about 2 events that we are happily taking a part of this October. First up is Salem Proud, featuring Chandler Massey, Christopher Sean, Greg Ricart, and Brock Kelly. And then our Dishin Days Quintennial event featuring Eric Martzoff, Brock Kelly, Jen Lilly, Kate Manzi, Billy Flynn, Stacey Hayduke, Paul Telfer, and Scott Shilstone. Both of these events are taking place the weekend of October 10th and 11th at the Burbank Airport Marriott here in Burbank, California. To get all of the info and to buy tickets, visit SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. And second, we want to give a shout out to our dear den mother and fellow Taurus, James Lott Jr., who has spent his quarantine checking in with daytime legends like Crystal Chappelle and Wally Kirk. James spoke with Wally about scenes actually being cut from Days and how he juggles being on 2 soaps at once. Then he chats with Crystal about her time on Days and the infamous Carly being buried alive by Vivian storyline. You can catch these interviews plus much, much more daytime dish and other dish with James at youtube.com/user/the super organizer, or you can simply search JLJ Media.
Yay. And that has been news and gossip. And now, really quick, before we bring in our guests for our quarantine check, we are going to check out what's to come next week on NBC's award-winning soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Roll that promo.
You
Roll that
cannot
beautiful promo,
take
please.
this baby. I'm calling the...
Steve, he moved in with Hope. That pisses me off.
I've never seen you before. Do you take any prescription medication?
Oh, yeah. There,
That's so good.
That was a lot.
that was a lot.
That was so good.
The woman
my
of
God,
Days
another
of Our Lives.
I know.
Listen,
Love it.
it is about to be woman power in
Girl power.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was looking for. It's about to be a girl power week on Days. Like,
I'm not used to hearing Kayla speak, go to hell. Pisses me off. Like, Kayla doesn't ever speak like this. This is awesome.
Well, let me tell you, she is like Donna Summer and Barbara Streisand. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
All right. As you guys know, we have been checking in with some of your favorite stars from Days of Our Lives in our quarantine check segment. And this week, we wanted to check in with a familiar face who has just returned back into Salem, or, well, Paris, France. And judging by that promo, things are about to get interesting. But let's check in with no other than Mr. Kyle Lowder to find out how he's been doing during this quarantine and what he's been up to. Is he there? Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, there he is.
I think he's there. He's coming in
Hey.
slowly.
Connecting to audio.
Hey, Kyle. How's it going?
What's happening?
Yay!
Are we doing this? We've been talking about this for 35 years.
I know. We have literally back last year, Kyle and I were like, okay, we're gonna figure out how we can get you on Dishin Days. And then months later, it was kind of like, oh, wait, we were supposed to have you, but we're having you now. How have you been doing? What have you been up to during this whole pandemic?
Man, I've been so busy. My calendar's just full. I'm playing. No,
I've been seeing on Insta a lot of pool time.
Yeah.
Which if you got it, use it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I really tried to, and I hate the word try. I have been sticking to somewhat of a schedule during the day because I know that, I think in the beginning it was kind of like, I can sleep in, I'll wait a couple of days to return this call or that email or whatever, because it's like nobody's going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I'm like, eventually when we do kind of, all go back to work or, life resumes as normal or whatever normal will be, then I will have to, try to catch up to the pace, So I'm like, let me start getting up early again, because I've always been an early riser. Let me just have as much of a scheduled day as possible, even if it's like saying lunch is at 12:30. At least I can cross things off my calendar like I usually do. So other than that, it's I'm a voracious reader, so I've read a lot of books. I started binge watch. I don't really binge watch TV shows that much, but I started to kind of do that, which is cool. I'm really into that show Billions.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
And the new season is coming out tonight. So
Yeah.
I have to catch up. And then, I think on a serious note, though, I think it was a lot of my time early on was just getting Izzy, my daughter, both kind of explaining what was going on or what is going on in the world. Number one, because it's, think about it, like it's confusing to us, and she's only been on this planet for 10 years. So
yeah,
you're and she's like, Daddy, what's going on? You're like, well, like where do I, And then it went from that to like homeschool, and then that's kind of like the whole world's been flying by the seat of its pants right now, but that's been kind of like a fly by the seat of its pants kind of a situation where school on Zoom, and how much are Ari and I responsible for in terms of the lesson plans and things like that. So yeah, every day is kind of a new adventure with that. But yeah, and then without breaking the rules, doing as much as possible. Like I'm an outdoor person,
yeah.
So it's been trying to find the safe and respectful and legal way of being outside. And I go to the beach, or was going to the beach like all the time, and that's just you gotta put a pin in that for a bit. I go hiking all the time, and that's they closed down the state. So yeah, I think it's just every day kind of, I'm rambling, but it's just every day kind of figuring out what do I need to do, what do I want to do, and then try to come up with some kind of a schedule, and then cross things off the list, and then have wait until 5 o'clock when you can start shaking that martini.
You are all about the martinis. I like. What's your? Is it just a straight up vodka martini, or do you?
So this is for anybody.
How do you make them?
For anybody that knows me, I'm a James Bond fanatic.
Shaken, not stirred.
My mom is really into the Sean Connery Bond, and so I grew up kind of watching those movies, and then when I got older, I wanted to get I love books, so I started reading the books, and then so I really just have a kind of a crazy James Bond education, and then that I remember reading the book Casino Royale, and then he invents the James Bond martini called the Vesper Martini, and it's I'll never forget the line, because in the movie I love when Daniel Craig says it, but he's like 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lillet, shake it over ice, and then a large thin slice of lemon peel.
Okay.
And
nice.
I remember watching that film. I was reading the book first, and then I saw the film, and I was like, pause, and then I kind of like rewound it, and I got a pad and a pen, and as he like went over it, I wrote down the recipe. So it's a bucket of booze.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie about that. But it's 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, 1 part quinoa. Well, it used to be quinoa lillet. People are getting bored to death, over this. But
no, they love it.
They don't make quinoa lillet anymore. It's now just called lillet blanc. But you can also use Coca Americano. It's basically a white wine aperitif, but it's 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, half part lillet blanc or Coca Americano. I use 3 ounces of gin. It's YOLO. So I do 3 ounces gin, 1 ounce vodka, and a half ounce lillet blanc. I actually prefer Coca, but they don't have that. It's hard to find. And then I do shake. Everyone's like, you should stir. I do shake it because it says to shake, and then large thin slice of lemon peel. But the thing about it is and I respect this. A lot of really good traditional and very talented bartenders don't like it because they say it's not a real drink. And it's not well balanced. I don't really have enough knowledge to really have an opinion about that. All I know is I started drinking them and I love them, and I feel like James Bond when I drink them, and that was like 7 years ago. So that's,
oh my gosh.
I make one like every night. It's like a nightcap when I'm reading a book or watching a show or something before I go to bed.
I guarantee you.
I do only have one because one will knock you on your.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are now going to like try this martini out, and you're probably going to get a lot of photos tagged of
please
with them trying the martini.
I have people have DM'd me on Instagram a lot about, they're like, what is that? And I do answer, and I was like, this is what it is. It's been my thing. And I also apparently I'm a functioning alcoholic. Love wine.
Yeah.
I just got a shipment in of wine, so I go back and forth. I don't drink wine and a martini the same day a lot. But yeah, and I love wine too. Like I said, I just got my new shipment. I'll probably dive into one of those for Ballers tonight. But the past 5 minutes we've been talking about my drinking habits. So
we're looking at the chat room and everyone is taking it in. They're like, I'm not bored. This martini talk is neat. Okay. So someone's like, I want to hang out with Kyle. He is so cool. So like they're loving it. They're loving it.
Sweet. Thank you.
What's something else besides what you say, Billionaires that you?
Billions. It's called Billions. It's on Showtime.
Billions.
Oh, Billions.
I loved Morning Show.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that with Jennifer?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's
great
good.
show.
You know, mixed reviews about that. I, for one, think it's just brilliant television. I really do. It's very, like I said, I don't watch, surprisingly, so I don't watch a lot of television. I watch a lot of sports on television, but I don't really watch, I don't watch TV like series, which is ironic because it's my bit. Like I'll watch stuff if I'm interested in a particular, like if there's a lot of buzz about a show or an actor or an actress or something, that I'll check it out, or a film, a movie. But I very rarely kind of binge watch television. And but a lot of people, I think, because people have been home, a lot of people have been making recommendations, and a friend of mine was like, recommended Morning Show first, but that I'm out of episodes there. But then he's like, check out Billions. I've always found the high finance world very, very fascinating, and it's a high finance like Wall Street drama, which is just that kind of stuff. Just every cliffhanger is it's like 1 a.m. and then the show ends. And I'm like,
when I was home for Christmas, my husband and I watched Morning Show with my mom. And the first night we watched it, we were up until 4:00 in the morning.
Yes, it happened.
It was crazy.
It happened.
And we're like, okay, we got to go to bed now. And it was, that's how much the show like hooks you.
It's true. And it's, I'm saying that's a great line, because it's the same thing. You like, it ends and you're just so awake. And then you're like, and then if you have I have Apple TV, so like the next episode starts counting down. It's like it goes right into. It's like it doesn't give you a chance to think about it. It's kind of like okay, and so like the episode's counting down, and I'm like looking at the clock. And I look at the countdown clock. And I'm like, we're just gonna do this.
Yeah,
we're gonna watch another one.
I've never been a binge watcher. In fact, I think because of quarantine, I really just got into like Netflix and stuff. Like I'm still old school. I still have cable, but like binge watching, it's like you look at the time and it's like 3 a.m. and you're like, I probably should go to bed, but I need to know what happens next so that I don't like wake up and then if I do leave a show undone, the first thing I do is wake up in the morning, which is like at 7, and I'm having breakfast, but I got to tune into the next episode because I'm dying to know what happened. But I watch all the bad reality stuff. So like Love Is Blind and Too Hot to Handle.
There's a dear friend of mine who's into that stuff, and when I'd watch it with her, and I got to admit, it kind of hooks you a little bit.
See, it does. Like you don't want it to,
and then it ends, and I'm like, God, I got to take a shower. This is just no.
Watch the skis off.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no. It's like, So, and my ex-girlfriend, she got me into like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and I'm not gonna lie about it. That's speaking of like one ending, you're like, all right, what happens next? Watch the next one. That stuff that's written so well. It's
good.
You can't just it's like potato chips, man. You can't just eat one.
It's
the bag.
And it's the people. It's like the people involved in it. You kind of look at them like, what? Like, you guys actually exist, and I kind of want to know what you're gonna do next.
It is. It's like when people stop, you slow down on the side of the, on the freeway just to look at a car wreck. It's like people just can't like look away from a disaster.
Train wreck.
Yeah.
You like, and I know that I know a lot of these reality shows aren't scripted, but it doesn't matter because just some of the like the natural in the moment, reactions or things are they're just priceless. It's actually, you can do a lot of like acting research by watching reality television in terms of like spontaneous reactions to things, and especially when you do soap opera, man. Some of the like a lot of my reactions, when I play Rex are from watching reality television, going like, how is this even we actually, it's funny because I'd been away from the show for so long and I hadn't watched a lot of it. And I remember Lauren Kozlow, we had a scene, Lauren Kozlow and I, we were on the phone. It was like, I think it was my first episode back. It was aired like on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, I said something like, what's been going on? And she's just like doing this. And I was a total natural, because I don't like to read a lot of like the other dialogue sometimes, because especially on a phone call, I just kind of look at my cue line because I want to be reactive in the moment.
Yeah.
And she's going over all of this stuff that has happened in Salem, and I'm legit like,
I love that facial expression. Yes. I know which one you're talking about.
That was legit, because I'm like, good God, a lot's happening.
Yeah. We literally were just talking about that. Yeah.
I knew that Victor had been stabbed, but I didn't know by who. And then she's like, I'm like, who stabbed him? And she's like, Brady. And I'm like, and I didn't know that coming. And I was like, this is great. So good. So yeah, it was all legit.
I love that you had such a natural reaction, because we were talking about it and I was like, he's probably thinking, I'm surprised by what happened, but not surprised that all of this is happening.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was so good it was such a surprise to like have Rex back on the canvas, because I think no one could have thought of any possibility of who Sarah might run into. Rex would
who's going to catch her. Yeah.
It was definitely, I mean, obviously I love Ron and his work, and I always love, being an actor under his pen, as I say. So I just like, even if I wasn't, playing Rex, so this is like objective, unbiased, outer body experience comment here, but like, I agree that Rex is like, he's the perfect guy that Sarah, because it's like she's on the run and she's stressed out of her mind anyway. He's like the last possible person that she wants to freaking see. Even if she wasn't on the run, if she saw him, she'd be like, ah. I thought that was just great writing on his behalf, and then you're right. It was so long ago that I forgot that I was coming back to the show. Like, my mom actually asked me like in early April, she's like, when do you start airing on Days again? I was like, Mom, I'm not. Oh. I was like, oh, the stuff that I shot in August. That's right. When is that airing? So I phoned Stephanie Sloan. I was like, hey, did I air already? When did we forget about this? What happened? And then no, it's like April 30th. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But now that we're not shooting episodes right now, like Days, I think they're going to get a little bit closer to that gap.
Yeah, but we've all been saying we're thankful that there is this gap, because a lot of the other shows are going to run out of new episodes, whereas Days, we have new episodes until I guess like October, November.
That's I mean, I'm not going to say that they knew that, but that's brilliant.
Yeah. It's very brilliant. And then, of course, while people are binge watching stuff, if they haven't already, they can check out your movie, A Mermaid for Christmas, that we would have talked about back in December, but we get to talk about it now to remind people to go watch it.
Okay, that's really cool. I've actually gotten like a crazy amount of DMs from people that are watching that right now because they're just looking for content to watch. Now. So yes, thank you for that plug. It is A Mermaid for Christmas, which we're so humbled by how well it did over the holidays. It's still available if you're in the mood for a little Christmas fun. So it's still on Amazon right now. If you want to check it out.
Yeah, make sure you guys tune into that because it was great. It was a great movie. It was a great, fun, loving family movie.
That's all exactly. I don't want to give anybody the impression that we're just we're precious about this. I mean, we're proud of the work, but it's tongue in cheek and it's light, fluffy Christmas fun, and we did that on purpose. I mean, it's a mermaid for Christmas, for crying out loud, it's not Shakespeare. But I will say at the same time, Michael Caruso, my business partner and who wrote it, and also executive produced it with me, he's so brilliant with this, is that he just found, amidst all of the fluff, he was able to find really awesome message in that very, not just a Christmas message, but a message that can go year round. So even though it's Christmassy, it's still the message stands true even in May. So thank you for that. Yeah, check it out.
And fans can also find the interview that James did with you, Kyle, and the cast a few months back.
Okay.
So check
on
it out.
AfterBuzz
Yeah.
TV.
Oh, that is going.
AfterBuzz
Those
TV.
interviews with James are so fun.
Yeah.
It's the second we're coming out with a new project, we get in touch with him. We're like, can we please come on your show? Just because it's like everybody gets together and starts making fun of each other.
It's always a joy, especially with James. Like it's a big ball of fun with him. So, and you guys always look like you're having a great time while promoting a new project.
That's what it's all about. It's our own place of Ellen. It's like,
I love it.
What does he try?
Exactly. Well, Kyle, it's good to see that you're doing well during this, and hopefully, you continue to do well and keep on your schedule, so that way, you don't lose sight of things. And it's okay to reward you can only have that James Bond martini if you are productive from morning until 4:55.
You hit the nail. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly it.
It's a reward.
I have 34 minutes remaining, and I'm going to be shaking it up.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be shaking it up with you.
All right. Good to see you all. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kyle.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. All right. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure everybody is going
nice young
to
man.
do that. Very nice.
I don't have all
another.
I would love to, but I don't have all the ingredients. That's a lot of stuff.
Right. Oh wait.
Make a run to the grocery store.
What happened to Le Screen?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have our next guest joining us. We have called him Evan Christian Chris, but of course, Mr. Brock Kelly. How are you, sir?
What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Smiling faces.
Good to see you again. How has this quarantine been going for you?
It's going good. As good can be. As good as can be. Staying busy. Just I've had a handful of auditions, which is weird because nothing's shooting. And
you know what? Victoria said the same thing. She was like, I've had to do some self-tapes, and I'm like,
yeah.
What audition do you have? What?
I don't know. I mean, they're crazy ones too. Like really cool people in them. So I'm like, this is it's cool that it's not just completely dead. I feel like I'm still connected, and the business is not just, I don't know, it's not just gone off into oblivion. But what else have I been doing? There's a casting director that I've been working with for a few weeks now. He's been bringing me in since I started acting. Yeah. And he's just been sending me material, and then I'll send him a self-tape. He'll give me some notes, and I'll send him another self-tape. So that's another way I've been staying active with, with the craft and whatnot. Been working a little bit. I went back to this this old hobby job of mine, trading commodities. So
yeah,
that's kept me busy. The only thing I really haven't been doing is working out. I've just been running like a little bit here and there, which, you know, I really cherish like feeling good.
You look like that. You look very in shape.
What was that?
There, and I look like this. So
you look great. You're doing great.
Thank you. I try.
I mean, listen, I have tried to do somewhat of a workout, but I kind of gave up the past couple of days. I have fallen off the wagon, and that wagon led me to Crackle Barrel yesterday, which I was not mad about. But I'm gonna get back on it tomorrow. I'm gonna get back on my workout regimen tomorrow so that I can
the
be.
Beard. Oh, I just noticed.
Thank you. Yeah,
good,
this is my quarantine look that's going on here. Yeah. I think I'm digging it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Like, so Brock, you and I have talked, and your wife is actually a nurse during all of this.
Yes, I know.
So we want to give kudos to her for what she's doing.
For real.
How is she? How is it for you? Like, you know, having someone who's kind of on the front lines and during all this, like, how is it from your perspective?
Adele's holding it down. I mean, she's working on a COVID floor with COVID patients.
Mm-hmm.
She's taking care of them. She was in it when it first popped up, and like they didn't really have a real structure of how the nurses were supposed to protect themselves with the PPE. So, you know, she's been, and she actually got really sick before it became a thing in America. Like in January or February, she had all the symptoms. She was bedridden, and then like even a couple of days later, like I had like the sweats, like I was fighting something off. So obviously we were getting tested for COVID back in January and February, but you know, she's been in it, and like, you know, she's staying like mentally strong for the patients. She's hasn't lost one yet, so that's, you know, that's good news. Yeah, she's, you know, it's a work. It's just, you know, a work in progress, and they're being really positive about it on her floor, and I think it shows with like the you know, the recovery rate that they've had.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, good. Because it's this whole thing has been new to everybody, but you know, to have someone, you know, close to you that's like, you know, working directly with it, like that's amazing. So make sure you give her like all the kudos from us.
Absolutely.
That she's doing such an amazing job.
She's getting spoiled in every way.
We have to say that we're digging we call him Evan Christian, obviously, like Christian. the whole family, like Orpheus, and now with Joey and everything, like like the whole family dynamic is really good, and I'm glad that now, you know, we're finally like getting to more of the meat of the story. I'm pretty sure there's so much more to come, but like, you know, kudos to you. You're like, you guys are killing it on the show.
Man, I'm so lucky to be with actors of that caliber. Kelly, George, they're, you know, they're just so grounded. They're so skilled and loose, and they just bring a gravity to every scene that really grounded me, and just, you know, makes it easy. So I'm just thankful that they got, you know, that I got casted with them.
Yeah. No, it's good, and I've said many a times that I like when they bring on a family, like, because we're so used to like the regular families on the show, but it's nice to be introduced to another set of people.
Yeah, it's a nice little mix up.
Yeah,
new energies in there.
Exactly. Well, we just wanted to check in, make sure that you're doing great, that you're doing fine, that you're surviving. So, you know, we're glad that you're thriving during this.
Everything's great. You know, just trying to stay positive, power through the mess, and, you know, just get to the next chapter. Hopefully, eventually, we will. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we will. I mean, I hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel is coming really quickly. So I think it'll happen.
Yeah. Y'all are doing good. Y'all are all doing good, or how's quarantine treating everyone?
Yeah.
Tony's going to Cracker Barrel.
He's obviously
I
he's
too have made a
clearly
visit
lost
to
it.
Cracker Barrel.
I mean, listen, I have been planning that. Michael Mattes knows this. I've been planning that Cracker Barrel trip for like months. And
is there a Cracker Barrel in California?
Yeah.
Camarillo. Do you know where the Camarillo outlets are? Up towards Santa Barbara, off the 101.
Oh yes.
There's one. They just put one right there, and you can still get takeout. And there's no traffic now, so it takes like a 45 minutes there and back. Well, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, and believe me, it's still good, even if it's not like hot off the oven.
Yes.
Listen,
It's a new Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, and so listen, I went yesterday, and like I got my entire life. Like it was a nice drive. I ordered not one but two meals, and because they didn't have the cornbread, I bought the cornbread mix so I could make them myself, and it turned out great. So for the past 2 days, I have been in complete heaven, and it's totally worth the trip.
All right,
Tony, what did you get?
Noted. Now I got something to do.
Yes. Oh, I got the catfish with fries and corn, and then I got the sugar cured ham with mac and cheese, green beans, and dumplings.
Solid.
Wow.
Yum.
I went basic with the fried chicken.
Well, I almost got that, but then I was like, you know what? This is what I have a taste for, and if I want the fried chicken, it's just another 45-minute drive.
There you go. You can always go back.
There you go.
To go back and get it. No, but for me, this quarantine has been fine for me. Like I'm just trying to stay productive and stay active and stay stay doing stuff. So luckily we're doing this show. We're all like being creative in our own way and just trying to push through it. So
yeah,
it's been fine.
Yes, so great. The days so far ahead of schedule. Like
yes. That's what we keep saying.
Pandemic ready. David had a virus like a couple weeks back. It's like they knew this was coming.
It's so great.
David. They were like Christian's son, Evan's son, Evan Christian.
Yes, Evan Christian. So we've been calling Christian Evan Christian, but then Zoe slipped up and was like Chris, and we were like, listen. This character can't. He can't have no more names.
Big C.
Yeah, right. Big C. Yo, what up? I was like, okay, so now we have Evan Christian Chris. So we're gonna see how long the name gets. We're at Evan Christian Chris right now. We're gonna see if it gets any longer than that.
I know he's got a middle name, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that is yet. More ways that they address me by the time this.
Yeah. But it's Anyway, it's good. It's great. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Keeping them on their
toes. All right. Well, that whole storyline is keeping us on our toes because I mean we're sitting here like Nancy Drew trying to figure out, what's the next step, what's happening, what's going on, what's the other piece of the puzzle.
Good.
But don't say anything though.
Doing their
your
job then. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're doing a fantastic job. So we appreciate that. Everyone in the chat keeps telling us that Chris is short for Christian.
We know that.
That's great. But like
thank you guys.
We know that.
Hey, thanks for that.
But we never would have expected that someone would come on and be like, yo, Chris. We thought it was just going to always be Christian. But Zoe was like, yo, Chris. And we were like, hold up. We had Evan, Christian. Now we got Chris. Like, okay. Anyway, enough on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brock, we're going to let you run and keep enjoying your quarantine Sunday. But
thank you.
We greatly appreciate that you popped in and checked in and everyone in the chat says hi. They say that your hair looks great.
Hi, everybody.
You look great.
They say that you have nice teeth. Lots of compliments coming in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. Appreciate it. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the show, and thanks for having me on today. And
thanks for coming.
Of course.
I'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye, Brock.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay! It's like the men of days. It was raining men
know.
today.
Yeah.
My God.
The good look, like quarantine's treating them very well.
Yes.
Listen, if they feel like they're having a rough day, then like, you know, then we are just going through it. We're in our end days. if they feel like they're roughing it. Okay, so wait, I have to tell you guys. So I told you guys that my mom has gotten into Days of Our Lives, right? And so now my mom texts me on Sundays and reminds me to send her a link to the show so that she can watch the show. So after the promo, I look down and I have a text from my mom that says, "What the hell? She's gonna tie him up." So she's like all intrigued now.
Hi, Mom.
She loves it. My mom. Shout out to my mom.
Hi, Mom.
She tells me she's like, I watch Days every day. I always she works from home. She's like, after I get off work, I make dinner, I sit down and I watch
That's
Days.
awesome,
And I'm
isn't
like,
it?
yeah, it is. And now I feel like I'm behind because I feel like I need to watch it each day so that way she can call me and say, you know, did you watch it? Well, let's talk about it. Because I'm always like, oh, Mom, I haven't watched it yet. So shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom. Thank you for watching. But that's it. That's our show. Oh, I shouldn't do that anymore.
I know.
I'm obviously sweating. It is
Hot up there
in the valley. It's hot in the valley. But before we head out, Michael Mattes, let the kind folks know where they can find you on the social medias.
Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattes.
Chelsie Overocker.
And you could find me on Instagram at Chelsie Overocker and at Twitter at Chels Overocker.
And Miss Tami Goveia.
You can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and Insta Tami.Goveia.
And you guys can find all of us on Facebook and Instagram. We are Dishin Days or _Dishin Days on the Twitter. And of course, you can find Lilo Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. I want to thank the 200 people who tuned in live today. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your grandpapa, tell your grandma, whoever can like get to a computer. Watch and tune in every Sunday right here at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a full recap of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Also, a special thank you to Kyle Lowder and Brock Kelly for participating in our quarantine check. And we guys hope that, we all here hope that you guys are doing well and staying safe. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday for another full recap of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, everyone, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Say bye, Pimpy. Say bye, Pimpy.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.